We're here with I'm going to sing a little song first. My country song. I just won $2 billion, but I'm not happy. No. All right. They're never happy, are they? Stop with the crickets already. I want to introduce, what's your name again?
Gino.
Gino Fratellone with 2 Z's, 6 Q's, and 5 W's. And
what's your name first?
Ed Schwartz.
Oh, Ed Schwartz.
And today we have Peter Barbella. See, it's Barbella. Hey, this is a family show. Squirrels watch. I don't know what you guys. Who watches your show? Nobody.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, who watches it?
Many, many people. Aww. Many, many people. And you are jealous.
Of what?
That's it, because they...
I tried to calm you down on your last show.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you were losing it there.
I was?
Wasn't he? The audience said, You were losing it. Yeah. You're losing it. Then I said, we don't go left, we don't go right. We're right in the middle, right?
Right in the middle.
Right. Then you went off on a tear.
And then I faint, right?
No, you don't. All right. So Peter's going to talk about real estate taxation. What are you doing? Oh, I hit you? Get off of that. Real estate taxation. I like that. Do it again. Real estate taxation, right on seniors, and you want to have it
on everybody. You know, we're going to talk about the history of real estate taxation. We're going to talk about why it's the way we do it. I believe is just not a good way to do it, and I want to talk about the way I believe it's impacting senior citizens who have worked all of their lives
to
get a house.
Do you know anybody down in the State House?
In the State House? Yeah, well, I do know Jim.
Jim?
Jim Archero, yeah. Hello. Hello.
He did it Italian way, Archero. It's Archero, get it straight.
He's got my, well, if you're Italian, it's Archero.
He's Italian?
You capisci?
I didn't know that.
Archero.
Archero, is that right?
In Italy, you pronounce every vowel.
Right.
Archero.
Well, we're not in Italy.
Oh, I think you are, my friend.
You lost your way.
You lost
2 out of 3 here, so.
Yeah, we can handle it. I got a bigger cane.
In this state, and in many states across the country, seniors work hard to get their house. They do. They work, some of them, all of their lives, so that they can own a home.
Right.
And lately, a lot of them are really struggling with real estate taxes, and some even are having to sell their homes and move into senior citizens housing, just because the real estate taxes they can't keep up with. And the problem is many of us seniors are on fixed income, and our taxation base, the value of the home you live in, is not on fixed income. It's zooming up as fast as could be.
Yeah, plus they pass other things. Like a Taj Mahal library.
You're right.
So I've introduced a bill that I'm hoping to get into the legislature in January through our state representative. And this bill will give every town an option to stop basing their taxation levy on the value of the home you live in, the real estate market value of the home you live in, and base it rather on income. And I'd like to explain why I think that's a really good idea. This is an idea whose time has come. When you talk about the money that you pay to your federal government, the feds, they base their tax levy on your income, not on the value of the house you live in.
Correct.
Okay? When you talk about the monies that you pay to your state government, they base that taxation on your income.
Right.
Not on the value of the house you live in. So I've often asked the question, why don't we do local taxes on income? And every time I ask that, to different assessors, to state officials, I get the same answer. This is the way we've always done it.
Oh, good.
It's time to change.
But they'll lose money, see?
And that answer just doesn't hold with me anymore.
They'll lose money, too.
No, they're not going to lose a penny. The way I've got it set up in my law, they won't lose a penny.
Voting for him.
Okay. So let me talk about the way we've always done it. Some history. property taxes began after the Revolution, okay, to pay for the Revolutionary War. And a property tax at that time was based not on the value of the home you live in, but rather on the value of the things you had that could make money.
Right.
They taxed you for the number of horses you had. Do you have plows? Do you have cows? That's how they taxed you. That was in the old days. Okay. Then came along income taxes. Income taxes began in this country in 1861.
After the Civil War?
And right after this, to pay for the Civil War, they came in 1861. They went to 1872, and they were repealed by the Congress at that point. They went away. So in 1894, they came back, and they lasted a year, and they were repealed by the Supreme Court. Finally, in 1913, the 16th Amendment to the Constitution claimed that we could charge people based on their income, and we could get our money that we need to operate the government. That's fine. Governments need money. They do. They should have it. So, with that in mind, we talk about the mass income tax also, which was 1916. And let's talk about current real estate practices. They're complicated beyond your belief. They really are. Every year, your Board of Assessors, or your assessor, whoever he or she may be, has to reevaluate every house. People don't know that, okay? Well, the process is like this. They look at the sales of a prior year of homes. And
Are they similar to your house?
Well, it depends. You know, everybody has a class of homes.
Yeah,
there are classes of homes. There are colonials, there's contemporaries, there's splits, there's old styles, ranches, capes, okay? And they separate them out by these types. Now, let's say a split entry house is evaluated today at $300,000, and it's sold in the market for $350,000. Well, the assessor is obliged to bring the evaluation of that house to within 95% of its market value. So she's got to up that value quite a bit.
What about when it goes down, though?
And when it goes down,
Right. Do they bother to bring it down?
if the value goes down, they got to bring it to within 95%. And by the way, what about it goes down?
Not much.
What are you dreaming?
That must be.
No, yeah, I think you're dreaming on that one.
After it goes down, goes
Well, they went down.
We done?
That's it for today, folks.
So she'll look at this, the assessor will look at the house and try to figure out a way to get its assessment up by $50,000.
Good.
And there's a number of factors that can be used. Some of those factors are common to that particular house. Other factors are common to all split entry houses. When she has to use a common factor, your split entry house is going to get goosed up in value even though you didn't sell it. You're going up in value because your neighbor sold their split entry house, okay? So every year this is done. This process goes through. The form is called an LA3 form. It's a state mandated, as are most things, process. And it results in different values of increases for different styles of houses. Now, I've got data that shows in 1 year where the split entries went up, like 7 or 8%, whereas the colonials went up only 5 or 6%. They went up less. Okay, and the underlying philosophy behind that is that the market's telling you that split entry is worth more than the colonial. Well, when you look at the number of colonials that were sold, in this case 94, and the number of splits that were sold, in this case I think it was around 5, okay? You ask yourself the question, how is the split more valuable than the colonial? How is it going up faster? And by going up, it increases the amount of the tax levy that you're going to have to pay.
Right.
Okay. Everybody should understand that the tax you pay at the local level is your assessment times your tax rate. If your assessment goes up 10% and the town doesn't need any more money, then the tax rate's going to go down 10%. if everybody's assessed evenly, but they aren't. And that's one of the problems for old people. Okay, so the assessing process is even more complicated than that. It often requires the assessor to come into your home and look at what you've done to it or see any changes. And the cost per town, I have an average, okay? Over in my town, our budget is about $250,000. There's 351 towns and cities in the Commonwealth.
Massachusetts, yeah.
Almost every single one of them has an assessing department spending probably on the average $250,000. I'd hate to see what Boston's assessment department is costing. These are all done, they pay money for salaries, they pay money for complicated software that maneuvers these values to the 95% level. They pay money for consultants. Most of the assessors I know will work on their residential values, but they ask consultants to come in and do the value of their commercial properties. So it's a very, very complicated process. And the result of this process, like I said, is seniors are struggling to keep their homes. That to me is not a good thing. I don't like to see that.
Especially when they don't have any extra income, you know.
The income is flat.
It's flat.
And the value of the house is going up
Right.
at an enormous
They
rate.
don't have extra money. Whatever they have, probably already spent it.
So I should talk about a little bit about, there are some Band-Aids in the law right now. Senior exemptions, every town has one or two senior exemptions. Okay? There's maybe a dozen of them written into Chapter 59 of the state constitution. And you can look at it, but it's kind of legalese and it's difficult to read.
Oh, it's not in English.
No, yeah, it's not really in English. But they have these ridiculously difficult to qualify for exemptions. In our town, approximately 0.1% of our seniors qualified for the exemption that we offer in Littleton.
Do they use it?
1/10 or
Do they use it?
We have an exemption for
I know.
seniors.
If you have it, it's one thing, but they're gonna use. They using it. If they're using it, that's
Who's they?
the people. The people.
The
So-
seniors.
0.1%.
They don't know about it, the rest of them? Or they don't call?
Some don't know, and the rest can't qualify.
Well, how low is the income?
It's very low. It can be very low. In some cases, it's at the circuit breaker, which isn't too bad, but still not too many people qualifying for these loans.
So why have it then?
Well, I think it's because it's difficult to qualify for it.
So why did they make it so difficult?
Right. Especially when you have no income.
Loosen it up.
I can't answer that question.
So they have a piece of property. They pay the taxes, and that's all they can afford. That means what else? What if they need extra money? They have to put everything on the house. The taxes.
Taxes can burden your budget, and they certainly are. They're certainly reducing quality of life for many seniors
Yeah.
each year as they go up. Now, understand something. Your taxes going up is an indication that your town's spending more money.
Yeah.
It's not only the fact that we don't get taxed equally in evaluation increases. It's a little bit different here and there for the different styles of houses, but your town is spending more money, so the taxes are going up.
Yeah, too much of it's on the schools. You hear that, people? We don't have kids.
We'll argue that, okay?
Can we argue that?
We can argue that.
But
My
you know-
belief is that's the most important thing we could do for our kids.
You've been in a school lately? You see
Yeah.
these kids when they come into Dunkin' Donuts?
I used to be on the school committee.
Bo-
Kids need education. Kids need,
Yeah, but
our kids are our future.
I'm not sure that they're getting the education they should be getting.
That's
They
another.
don't know about history.
No, they're
They
being,
don't. They
they're
don't
being
teach
taught what to think, not how to think.
Right.
That's a problem, okay? That's a serious problem. That's a long, we need 2 or 3 more shows for that.
Well, we got it.
All right.
We got time, right?
So the bottom line is this, that it seems to me that it's much fairer to tax people based on their means, their income. You know, the federal government doesn't, I mean, they recognize that you're a senior's income goes flat. So they tax that flat income, and they're happy. State government, same thing. They tax your flat income, and they're happy. Local governments base it on the value of your house, which is zooming these days, and it's just properly. I think all of these Band-Aids they have in place are just a kind of a mess and complicated mess that very few people can use.
Maybe it makes it look like they're doing something.
Yeah, it does. And I urge everyone to look and call your assessor's office and find out what exemptions are available in your town, because most of us don't realize there are exemptions.
There's a CPA thing in Westford.
And
In Westford.
that's the Community Preservation Act.
Yeah.
That's another show. Okay.
Well, we got 5 shows booked. Write that down. We got
She doesn't have a.
5 shows booked now. By the way, this is show 171. How
Well,
about that, huh?
my bottom line is this: is to avoid the cost of assessing, of trying to evaluate your home in a financially backed, agreed-filled real estate market. We should have, I think, the opportunity to tax our towns, or get our towns to tax us by the income, our means. Okay, you need to tax our means, and that's fair. It's a fair thing to tax your means, but not the value of your house. I don't believe the value of your house.
The house can go out to $1 million every year, and your income is flat. You can't pay the taxes.
Oh, no, you get an 8.7% increase in Social Security, folks. However, inflation, 8.2. Wow, we're really making like money.
That's the government's estimate of inflation.
Yeah. Right.
The reality, you look at your wallet, it's probably
Right,
closer to
right.
16.
What wallet? They took it. I gave up buying gas and food, to save money.
So the only way this will go through is if the administration and the representative of on the Senate and the state representative in the Senate will adjust this problem.
It has to be introduced, okay? And the process of getting a law passed in the state is complex, okay?
It's kind of a hard.
It goes into a number of hearings, different hearings from different committees. And each one has to say, that's a pretty good idea, okay? But honestly, this particular idea, I feel a little bit like Don Quixote charging the light mill, charging the lighthouse, the windmill, excuse me.
Well, whatever. He charged something. Put
He
it on
charged
his
something
credit
on
card.
So if this goes through, the old Massachusetts residents will have an opportunity to see maybe some of this real estate assessors just die down, so they don't have to worry about the taxes going up.
You would base your town evaluation not on the value of all the homes you own in the town, but on the value of everyone's income, which you get from the state tax form.
Right.
You don't have to hire a consultant to come out and figure out how valuable a house is that you live in. You can look at the state tax form and get the number right there. Is it a perfect system? No. Taxes are never perfect. There's always loopholes. But is it a much simpler system? Yes, I believe it is. And I think the state would save thousands and thousands
Is it more
of
likely to
dollars.
be? Excuse me, sir.
No, I have not finished yet. There is a lot of.
That's what you think.
There's a lot of home now that go for $700,000, maybe even more than you one day are being building. Years ago, you can buy the same house practically for
That's another show.
30. I know it's $38,000.
But
The question is, they should actually say, it's a good idea. Why don't we just minimize to the assessor to value the home, give the house a break. It can only go so much up. But the question then you have to repair. You have so many different things you have to do to the house. And then what happened? You don't have extra money to take care of it.
Well, you always got to repair your house.
That's what I'm saying.
If you have no money left to repair it,
That's what I'm saying.
its value is going to go down.
Yeah,
He
go
puts a
down.
squirrel on the roof to
I
cover
don't
the
think
hole.
Is that what he does?
I don't think they gave you that break. The house going to go down.
The thing is, it would be a lot cheaper to do it based on income. I mean, it's across the board. And the bill I've introduced has all the math so that they can do the classification properly. You know what the classification is?
But the question is,
Can I finish?
He asked the question, Gino.
Did you
Would
answer
you
me?
be kind enough not to interrupt?
in every
when
He didn't
town-
finish. He didn't
Okay.
finish.
In every town, you take the value of your residential homes,
Yes.
and you take the value of your businesses, your commercial enterprises, and you look at what the ratio is between them.
between the,
And then you use another set of complicated formulas to figure out what the tax rate for each should be, how much of the town's levy should the homes pay, how much should the businesses pay.
Should pay, yeah.
They divide that number, and out comes the rate for your commercial and the rate for your
I
residential.
think that in Westford, aren't the rates the same? I thought that the commercial and the houses are same tax rate.
They may be in Westford. I don't know.
not in Littleton.
I'd be a little surprised, but they're not in Littleton.
I wouldn't be surprised at anything.
But that's basically my story. And you know,
that's
in
good,
January, I'm gonna
Yeah.
right after the election, I'm gonna get all over the representative.
Is it more, Mayor?
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Is it,
You have the
I think I have the floor.
The floor,
Take the chair. Is it more likely to pass with a Democratic or a Republican?
That's a good question. I don't know that it would
make a
matter.
difference.
You know, if you look at it and you say to yourself, my God, I can save $250,000 in 351 towns. And I don't have to have consultants, and I don't have to have complicated software. It's a no-brainer to me, Democrat or Republican.
But they'll tell you that, oh, due to inflation, my costs keep going up, so I need more
what
money.
I'm saying.
It's like stuffing
Well,
more.
I'm
more
not.
money.
I'm not taking money away from anyone.
No, but they
No.
won't view it that way. The towns.
I don't know why. They're going to get the same amount of money.
They are?
You're just going to base it not on the total evaluation of your homes.
Right.
They're going to base it on the total evaluation of your incomes.
That's it. They're doing it right now anyway. Yeah.
Seniors are going to pay a little bit less.
Right.
People who are working, upwardly mobile people are going to pay a little bit more.
Just a little
That's
bit.
true. Okay. But I'm not sure. I don't believe that that's fair.
What?
Because I think it's fair.
Oh,
I use the double negative on
thank you.
purpose there.
What are you doing?
He's scratching himself.
We're going to have a, what do we call that? We're going to have a little, no, what do you call that thing? A show for getting him some new clothing.
Oh, okay.
Go on, your wife, come on, go get some new clothing. What? Oh, look at that. That's a stain.
The question is,
What?
control yourself and don't control any people. Right, capiche?
I don't eat cabbage.
You know capiche?
I don't eat cabbage. You're annoying. All right, now, Peter, you have anything else to add?
No, that's my journey. I spend my life dealing with some of these numbers, and
You're trying
And,
to help other people. That's it.
I do a lot of other stuff.
Really? But we got time. Speaking to the mic, Peter.
You got 5 minutes and 3
Okay.
seconds.
What else do you do?
Well,
We ain't got nothing. Go ahead.
totally off the topic
Yes,
of
sir.
taxes.
Yeah,
Okay, many years ago, my wife and I were watching TV, and we saw a display of American flags in Boston,
yeah.
and we were touched. We were impressed. So I went out and bought 1,000 American flags,
I know, yeah.
and this is many years ago. And on Memorial Day, I went down to the Common. I told my kids I had a secret mission for them. They had to come to my house, and I told them what we're going to do. We're going. I don't have permission. Didn't ask anyone for permission. We're going down there. We're going to lay these flags all over the Common.
Isn't that what they do now?
And you asked me to help you.
And
Don't they do
not
that
the
now?
first year, maybe the second year,
I
but
wouldn't ask you to help me for anything.
we did that.
Thank
We
you.
did that for many years. We covered Littleton Common with American
Oh,
flags.
Littleton Common. I
Littleton
thought you were
Common.
talking about the Common in Boston.
No. They've got their
They
own.
got their own.
They've got 10,000s of flags down there, but we've added a couple of boxes now too. But in 2020,
Yes.
I had the bright idea to make an outline of the Statue of Liberty with the 1,000 flags.
Really?
Yeah, that was nice.
So I bought like 600 sheets of 2x3 paper, and I got a picture of the Statue of Liberty, and I put a square grid over it. And I labeled each square in the grid, 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, blah. And I labeled each piece of paper. Then I sat down with the picture and I blew up each grid and looked at the outline. and by hand I drew the outline on the paper. Now, the idea was I was going to lay these pieces of paper down on the ground and stick flags every 3 inches. Okay?
So we look
This
at
was 2020. Guess what happened?
COVID.
No Memorial Day parade.
no.
Well,
Papers went under the bed.
Oh,
2021, guess what happened?
COVID.
No Memorial Day
I knew
parade.
there was something going on.
Papers under the bed, okay? For 2023, they said we're going to have the parade.
Good.
I pulled the papers out. I got about 20 people together,
good.
and we went down to the common, and we laid these papers out. It was like 60 feet tall and about 40 feet wide. And we put flags every 3 inches. And the base of the Statue of Liberty we filled up with flags.
Wait a minute,
was
it couldn't
nice.
have been 2023. This is only 2022.
2022.
Yeah.
Did I say 3?
Yes, you did.
You got me.
Because he's sitting there.
You got me. I was trying to
wanted
sneak
to-
one.
Due to inflation.
Wait a minute.
I was just seeing if you guys were paying attention.
Right, due to inflation, though, we had
Wait
to
a
jump
minute.
the...
good.
I didn't want to tell
Good
you
to see you
because
are.
you're criticizing.
He wasn't.
I'm not criticizing.
I just ignore it. Okay, I heard it, but I
The
didn't
word
say
is
nothing.
ignore it, not
But
ignore
never
it.
ignorante, come stai? Come stai? Tu credi di sapere tutto? Prendi la cosa? Yeah.
Come on, speak it. Speak.
Oh yeah. Tu non capisci, non
You
capisci.
capisci yourself.
State zitto, va.
It's Phil Esposito.
Io-
All right, I want to
He's
thank
a
you
nice
for
guy.
these...
He's a nice guy.
Who?
This gentleman here.
I mentioned Phil Esposito. You don't even know who he is.
Oh my gosh.
Played hockey.
Yeah, I don't remember him. Yeah, I used to watch
His
that.
real name was
Was a
Leibowitz.
nice person. Now you got a pain in the butt.
Ah, shut up. It's my show, so shut up. All right, Peter, I want to thank you for coming on.
My pleasure.
And we give you a parting gift, but we don't have any because we don't get no money, honey.
We don't get
What's the
extra
matter?
money.
It's a biggie. Oh, knock it off with the crickets. All right, so Peter, thanks for coming off. You want to come back again, and I insist you do because we ain't got nobody else, Peter.
You're really
You're gonna
that.
think about
It's
twice
that desperate,
before you
huh?
come.
It was not. You're damn right. I'm not desperate. Look who I got here with me every time.
Oof.
Gosh darn. Huh? What are you rocking yourself to sleep already?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Get a little fuzz back there too. All right, Peter. Thank you for coming on. And seriously, you want to come back? Now that you know where we are.
We talk about something else.
Sure.
All right.
Good.
Course of chocolate.
Drive him crazy.
All right, we'll be back sometime. I don't want to pin you down, Peter, but when are you coming back?
In 28 seconds? No.
No, in 28 seconds, I'll be back for retour. All right, we'll be back. Thank you. What's your name again, Gino? Thank you, Gino.
I don't know.
All right, we'll be back sometime because we know it's hard. If you want to be a guest, call the station and be serious about it.
Yeah.
We don't want any.
And call back if you can't make it.
Thank you for the opportunity
Certainly,
to give my
Peter.
story.
Thank you. Checks in the mail, baby. All right, bye-bye. Take it easy.
Have a good day.
I'm going to sing my way into oblivion. My dog, he dead.
Ed Sullivan is dead, but Cohen isn't. And when it comes to weather, Cohen's smart. As New York as you get, his money's on the Mets, which goes to show that Ed's a Joe who always bets his heart. You'll hear a slick review or two from Nicky. And Cantor Something Berg will sing some song. There's weather news and shtick, enough to make you sick. You'll be glad you came.